You need to stop buying flagships seriously, because this iQOO Z11 Turbo is offering specs that are double its costs. Because here you get a flagship level CPU, incredibly fast speeds, a stunning display, and rapid recharging with a massive battery. So we're going to break down this phone for you and why it might be the best value phone of 2026 on three fronts. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 powers the Z11 Turbo, but you also get the benefit of a custom Q2 gaming focused chip built into this phone, and it's all about gaming and performance, and as emphasized in games such as Delta Force, which is a top level first-person shooter, and it runs incredibly well. You're getting stable frame rates here with HD graphic pack as the option, and it looks really great. The game performance in general runs really well, very stable, high level of graphics, and no issues with any input lag or dropped frame rates. And let's further break down that 8 Gen 5 CPU by running it through 3D Mark's Lifestyle Extreme benchmark tests. Here, you get some pretty bad looking scores when it comes to stability, because that comes in at 36.6%, which emphasizes very heavy throttling on that CPU. And if you look at the loop scores, you again see quite a topsy-turvy level of performance. There's starts high and then dips low, then high and then back low again. So it shows that this phone and the CPU does throttle a lot. Then there's the temperature. On the back of this test, 3D Mark's Lifestyle Extreme benchmark tests, temperatures jump from 36 degrees all the way up to 51 degrees, which is very high. Normally mid 40s is what we see under this test. But what I would say is day-to-day use-wise, the CPU does not overheat. So if you're just browsing the web or just doing your normal casual things, just using the phone as per, you're not going to notice it, but we wanted to mention that throttling and increased temperature so you know. Then there's the battery of the Z11 Turbo. It's a massive 7,600 milliamp hours, which gives you roughly 9 hours of screen on time. So that is legit a 2-day battery for the majority of people, which also means you can game on this as much as you like, stream content as much as you like, stream music as much as you like, and chances are you still have a decent amount of battery left over. You also benefit from 100 watts of wire charging, which means 0 to 100% in around about 45 minutes, which is pretty good considering that you won't get that on a lot of flagship level devices. And the other thing to note here is there is no wireless charging on the Z11 Turbo, but that's okay for a phone that costs around about £300 when imported in and converted. The design of the Z11 Turbo is pretty standard fare. It's a boxy look with rounded off corners, and on the back here you get a squircle camera housing for the 2 lenses on the rear. Up front, however, you get a 6.59-inch 144Hz AMOLED display with over 5,000 nits of peak brightness and 4,320 Hz of PWM dimming. So the display on this for such an affordable phone is actually top tier, and the output is stunning. So if you watch back content on here, even if it's like the darker side, let's focus on that, you still get deep rich colors and really good black areas. And then if you watch it in brighter things, for example, nature documentary, nature shows, and you ramp that brightness right the way up, you don't lose any of the clarity or the imaging. So on the whole, the quality of the display is top tier. It's also just above 87% screen to body ratio as well. We would be remiss not to mention a couple of really cool things, and that's actually the fingerprint sensor in this phone. It's the fastest we've ever used on a phone. Even when you're using it to unlock your phone, and even when you're setting it up, it is rapid, quick. And then there's a couple of other things to know as well. You get IP68 and IP69 dust and water resistance here as well. So using this out and about, for example, that brightness is still benefited, but if you're using it in rainier moments, it's still absolutely fine. The other downside we note is the charger port is USB 2.0, not 3.0. So transfer rates can be slower than 3.0. The cameras in our squiggle housing are dual, and you get a 200 megapixel main lens and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Now that main lens is really quite impressive, with images looking sharp and detailed in daylight, offering nice balanced colors that do look quite natural, and then there is that added pop in color as well. The optics here are very good, and the Z11 Turbo also allows you to shoot in 50 megapixel and 200 megapixel mode, with the latter only offering 1x zoom shots. In both modes, you again capture a good amount of detail with nicely balanced colors, with file sizes being quite big, anywhere between 12 and 18 megabytes roughly. Personally, shooting in the main lens as standard is the way to go, as it still allows you to zoom up to 4x lossless, and the output is very impressive. Video here is again pretty good, very reminiscent of the main lens, 4K 60, and offers really good output with good dynamic range as well. The downside, of course, as soon as I mentioned the spec, is the ultra wide. It's a low resolution sensor which outputs okay images, with it lacking detail and sharpness, and that pop that the main lens gets isn't here. There is a lot of softness around the edges as well. It is usable, but not great. Overall, the Z11 Turbo, if you stick to that main 200 megapixel lens, does deliver surprisingly good results. So who is the iQOO Z11 Turbo for? Well, it's pretty simple. If you're a gamer, a power user, and someone who wants the best performance to battery on a phone, then this is for you. If you're somebody who's a photography focused person who wants essentially a camera in the pocket, then the Z11 Turbo isn't for you at all. But what it does show us overall is for £300, the Z11 Turbo is an absolute steal and a dead certain buy. If you're happy to import this in though, because it isn't freely available in a lot of Western markets, so factor that in, which is a bit of a downside. But we want you to let us know what you think of the Z11 Turbo below in the comment section. And if you like this video, drop us a like, comment below, and subscribe because it supports the channel. Until the next one, as always, we out.